The stereotype that women aren't motivated by money is just that, according to KPMG's 2019 Women Leadership Study. I'm here with Michele Meyer-Shipp, Chief Diversity Officer at KPMG. Were you surprised by those results?
I was actually really surprised by those results because I've always thought that women were motivated more by things that we were passionate about, things that helped, other people. The money piece really came at me as a big surprise.
So Citigroup just announced that its female employees make 29% less than male employees, and that it will make gender equality in senior roles a priority. Is there anything else that the company could be doing?
Absolutely. I mean, companies need to be supporting women, not only with respect to equal pay and things of that nature, but literally with respect to their growth and professional development. So offering them mentorship, making sure that they have sponsors, making sure that they have leadership opportunities, and general professional development training is critical. Because many of us come to the workplace, and especially the professional workplace, with technical skills, but we're not necessarily trained on how to navigate sort of those soft skills around navigating a workplace. So that kind of training and leadership development is really critical to help drive our success.
Back to the study, what was your biggest takeaway, do you think?
My biggest takeaway from the study was that we really need to focus on, as women, intentionally being confident and intentionally recognizing that we have to take risks. I think sometimes we sit back and we think if we work hard, things will just come to us. But we really have to own our careers. And to own our careers, that means we have to speak up when it may be uncomfortable. It means we may have to ask for that stretch assignment. We may have to ask for that raise. We may have to ask for some flexibility from time to time, and that's going to require us to work against the grain of our comfort zone. So being more confident intentionally is what I walked away with from the research.
How can we teach women to be more confident in the workplace?
We have to talk about it. I mean, we literally have to talk about it, and I think for women, we need to mentor each other and support each other, and I think for women coming up the career chain, seeing senior women navigate this successfully is the best way to learn. I always tell senior women, you are the role model for the women who are coming up behind you, so make sure that they see you speaking up. Make sure they see you mentoring. Make sure that they hear you taking risks, see you taking risks, and then they will feel that it's comfortable to do it as well.
How important, you just mentioned mentorship, and I'm wondering how important do you think it is, maybe not just for women, but in general for employees to have a mentorship program in their company?
Mentorship is critical. When you think about career development, everybody, again, they know the technical aspects of the job, but people do not naturally know how to navigate an organization, any organization. So to have a mentor who's there, who you can ask questions of, who you can go to and run things by, who you can practice a presentation with, who you can ask hard questions of to set you up for success, it's absolutely essential. I actually talk to a lot of people who are junior in their career about what motivates them to stay engaged at my workplace, and they've all said to me, it's the fact that I have access to mentors and people who will spend the time helping me that makes it really just great to be there.
So honestly, I was surprised to read that women are more likely to attribute good work habits to their careers rather than risk-taking, and that personal character attributes are not often cited as a reason for their success. Do you have any idea why that is?
I think it's because, again, we are taught and groomed coming up that if we work hard, we will reap the results, and that it's just naturally going to happen. Again, no one is talking to us about our soft skills. No one's talking to us about how to navigate the workplace. They're talking to us about, get good grades, work hard, get the job, get in the door, and it's all going to work out from there. No one ever told me that, for example, right? So I'm sitting there working hard, doing my job, wondering, well, how come I didn't get asked to do that assignment? Or how come I didn't? And then one day, one of my mentors, a woman, said to me, Michele, you have to let people know what you want. Take ownership of your career, speak up and speak out, or you might actually just be ignored.
Back in December, Goldman Sachs went on a female-centered hiring spree. What are your thoughts about Wall Street making women a priority?
I think Wall Street has to make women a priority. I think every organization needs to make underrepresented people in general a priority. We have a very, very diverse workforce out there, and we need to intentionally tap into talent that's underrepresented. Because what happens when you have a diverse workforce is you get greater innovation, you get better ideas, and that actually helps us in the marketplace. So I think with respect to all organizations, it's looking at where am I underrepresented? It may be women, it may be people of color, it may be other underrepresented groups, and you want to intentionally target recruiting efforts there so you get people in the door who have different perspectives and points of view, because that drives a greater outcome.
Just from a personal standpoint, I interviewed Lauren Simmons a couple months ago. She's the only female trader, African-American trader also, on the floor of the NYSE. And, you know, talking to her, one of the biggest things that she told me was that her mentor made all the difference.
That's right.
And it's impressive to hear you say that mentorship is so important. I'm wondering, so let's put mentorship at the top of what companies should be doing. What's the second thing that companies should be doing?
I think sponsorship. So you have someone who's mentoring you, and that's great. But if you have that alone without the sponsorship, you still may not get the opportunity. What a sponsor does for you, a sponsor is usually that senior leader who's in that room where all the decisions get made, and he or she is going to put your name on the table when that mentor may not necessarily have a seat there, right? So that's the person who's going to advocate for you. That's the person who's watching you. You may know they're watching you or not. They see your skills, they see your strengths, and they're able to raise their hand for you and put their political capital out there for you to get you that next opportunity. So you absolutely need both.
KPMG's study found that 69% of women are okay with taking small risks, but only 43% are willing to take bigger risks. Why do you think that is?
Goes back to confidence, right? So you think about it, a small risk might be raising your hand for a stretch assignment or, you know, expressing a different point of view in a big meeting. But a bigger risk might be, again, asking for that salary increase, being the first person to ask for that, you know, that flexible work arrangement, or being the first person in the group to challenge your boss and have a different point of view. That's a little bit more scary to do. And if you're not confident enough to put yourself out there, you're not going to do it. So that's why I think this focus on being intentionally confident and intentionally owning your career is so critical. It comes right back to all of that.
We talked about mentorship, we talked about sponsorship. What is one other thing that companies should do to push workplace diversity?
So companies need to make it really clear that this is a business priority for them, that diversity and inclusion is an imperative. They have to set the tone from the very top. The message has to literally filter down the entire leadership chain. Employees need to hear it not only from the top, but they need to hear it from the people that they report to. Because what happens is if you're just hearing it from the top and you're not hearing it or feeling it from your own leader, there's a disconnect there, and that causes employees to disengage. So the message has to go all the way through, and then leaders need to let their employees know that they welcome their opinions, that they welcome their input, and that they want to hear their perspectives. You actually have to tell employees that because they may otherwise assume that their voice is not willing to be heard.
A couple of months ago, California passed a law stating that women have to be on boards of companies. And I've heard the back and forth about this. I've heard some people being like, it's too bad that this is made a law, or, right, you know, it's not good to implement a law about this. What's your opinion there?
You know, as an employment lawyer, you know, I can say that I understand why we've had to go there in some instances. I don't know, though, that the outcome there will get us long-term sustainable progress. I think a lot of companies are going to react to that quickly just to check the box and say that they put a woman in the seat, but how much will that woman really be engaged? How much will her voice really be heard? How much will people really care what she has to say? I think that's fine and dandy. If we think that's the way we need to go, I mean, go for it, but I just don't think it's going to be long-term sustainable. We have to do it organically, and we have to do it because we understand that diversity makes sense and drives innovation and outcomes.
Thank you so much for joining me, Michele.
Thank you. Great to be here.